Hello, everyone. You're welcome.
And our guest speaker today is none other than Reverend Olive. Thank you for joining us. And today's discussion will be about the importance of raising the importance of parent involvement in their children's education. So, how to tie this with raising godly children is Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, so even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Some examples of those who were educated in the Bible is Paul, a scholar who wrote many of the New Testament letters, Solomon, a king of Israel who wrote 3 books of the Bible and was known for his wisdom and learning. So as we begin, the first question I have is, why is it important for parents to advocate for their children?
It's very important for parents to advocate for the children. Why? Because the parent is the first teacher for his or her child. And children learn by doing, not necessarily by just saying things. Or the experience that they have gained while growing up is from the experience that the parents have demonstrated. So if the experience gained is of godly effect, then the children will grow up to be more in a godly setting. And at the same time, seeing that parents are the best example at the initial stage of the child, it means that godly parents will produce godly children.
Right, Rev?
Thank you, Reverend Olive. That's so good because there is an adage that says charity begins at home. When we say charity begins at home, we mean good parents, good children. So the parents are the beginners. They are the primary important educators in their children's life. So while they have them in their womb to when they give birth to them until at the age when they are ready to go to school, it's the parents' responsibility to lay that foundation of education, not only secular education, even spiritual education, cultural education of the child. Thank you.
Thank you. So what is the importance of being involved in your child's education?
The importance of it is simple, that because the child it's your child, and the child is leaning on you for guidance, it means that you have to guide that child or the children, because if you don't, then they are going to go away from you and accept a form of training that's not relevant to the guidelines of Christ. So it's very important for the children, the parents, to be godly and train that child in the right way.
Right, Rev?
Thank you, Reverend. The importance cannot be overemphasized. I have been in a classroom where I was teaching health education. And I was teaching the kids, like, they have to at least take shower twice a day. I'm using that as an example. So when I said that, one of the children said, no, my mommy said to take shower once, and that's in the night. And when I wake up, I brush my teeth and go to school. Now you see, culture has played a very important role. As Africans, we bet, our emphasis on bathing at least twice a day. But to this American kid, it's okay to get showered once a day. That's how the mother taught her. So that's why parents are very important in their involvement of their children's education, whether it's culturally, educationally, whatever it is. So, parents, your children idolizes you. You are their first teacher. Please make sure you lay that foundation in their life where if they go out there after 3, they would have gotten a foundation. If we use another example of Moses, Moses' mother hid him for only 3 months. And he was handed over to the daughter of Pharaoh, raised in the palace. And after adulthood, Moses realized, oh, I'm not what? An Egyptian. I'm an Israelite. Why? Because the parent taught him who he is. So when he went out there, he refused to be what? He refused to be deceived. He refused to imbibe the lies that is out there. He maintained what was taught him at home. So it is very important that whatever a parent want the child to know, start from home and let it, become part of that child's life, so that when he goes over, when you hand him or her over to teachers out there, they will still remember what mommy or daddy said. Thank you.
So now that we established what is the importance of being involved, let's talk about some ways parents can be involved in their child's education.
The first thing I say for parents to be involved in the child's education is that, one, the parents have to set a godly example so that the child will adhere to the principles of learning. The parents should have the children know about the 10 Commandments, because it's like a guideline to any areas of your life. And when they are embedded in that type of 10 Commandments, not only to read it to them, they are to sit down, discuss it, and have a knowledge that that is the guideline to heaven's door. Secondly, when they are of age, they'll understand more. But it's important for them to have the background. And if they have the background of the knowledge of God, and at the same time, the secular things will fall into place, because they will know obedience. They will know love. They will know how to get along with others. And their emotional life will be more balanced.
Oh, thank you. That is great. The 10 Commandments is a great place to start with connecting your children to being godly, and also to giving them the foundation, right? Before they go to school and while they're at school. And one of the things that I have, another question that I have is, what are some, let's go to Right Rev.
You're welcome, Ms. Paris. Thank you. Okay. Shall we praise God? We are talking about not only raising children, we are in the platform of raising godly children. So, Reverend has started it, how we will help them, teaching them the 10 Commandments. To add to that, we should start teaching them how to pray. When I wake up in the morning, what's my priority? Bringing God into my life. You know, there is a saying we say, family that prays together stays together. As a parent, show your children the example of prayer. And that is waking up in the morning, doing your morning prayer. You sing, you pray, you give them the word of God. Even if it is 5 minutes in the morning, pray with them before they go to bed. That's how to teach them, by example. So prayer, number 1. Number 2, We've talked about the 10 Commandments, the Word of God. The next thing I think we should show them is show them how to read and write. You know, instead of downloading in their iPad or things that will not help them in their journey of their growth. Download things, letters, numbers, depending on their level of age. You know their age. We teach them according to their age limit. So depending on their age, if it is little children, download how to read and write, letters and numbers and rhymes and all that. Let them, before they go to school, start school at 3. Let it be that they have learned how to read and how to write their letters and numbers. Then if it is adults, then download what monitor. Remember, we are talking about educating them. See that what they have, what they watch, what they see is helping them in their growth, in their development as children, not things that will, you know, destroy their knowledge of God. Another thing I think we should teach them from home is respect. Respect. Some children will see you and pass. They never say, good morning, ma. Good morning, sir. They never do that. It is very, very important that we teach our children from home respect, how to respect the elderly, how to respect their teachers, and every elderly person that comes their way. When you lay emphasis on respect, when they go out there, remember they are representing you. Whatever you teach them is what they gotta showcase when they go outside. So it is very important that we teach them respect. And the last one I will talk about is etiquette. Etiquette is very, very important that we teach our children. What is etiquette? Behaviors, maybe table manners. We have to teach them etiquette. A lot of children come out not knowing how to start. They want, let's say 3 of us are sitting there, and they want water. The water is up there. Can you put my phone there? Let's say I want my phone. They need to learn something. Please, can I have a bottle of that water? Please, can you give me my phone? Please, this or that. That's etiquette. Table manners. How do we eat? You want to teach them how to use the fork and knife. You want to teach them when they are eating outside, no matter how hungry they are, teach them how to eat respectfully, gently. Let them swallow the one they are chewing first before they go for more. And again, we have to teach them how to say thank you. You are giving a child this. Hold it and say thank you, thank you. Then you give it. You are teaching them how to say thank you. And again, you are teaching them, like when I taught grade 1. They come to class. Good morning. Good morning. I said, who are you greeting? Is it the chair or table, or this student by me or me? They will say, oh, good morning, Miss Goodness. I said, now I know that greeting is for me. You see, we have to teach them all this. So when they wake up in the morning, good morning, mommy. Good morning, daddy. Good morning, grandma. Good morning. They have to learn respect. And that's part of etiquette. When you don't teach them, they go out there and show that you didn't teach them. Because they're not going to do it. They will go out there and throw greetings. Good morning. They pass. You didn't teach them etiquette, how to address that greeting, where that greeting is going. Thank you. Let me stop there for now.
Yeah, I'm going to backwards to something about the early ages of children and their education. At an early age, it is the parent's responsibility to read to the children. Reading is a very important part of their learning because they can't read, so you're going to read to them. And at the same time, in the reading, the stories should be more scriptural and circular, secular, so that they have a definition to know what is biblical and what is in the secular world. And at the same time, an association should be built in such a way that the children, even if they are learning the alphabet, just learning the alphabet, A, B, C, D, it's a rote learning that doesn't register in their faculty of reading. So we have to associate the letters. A belongs to apple. Say the word apple. B, banana. Say the word banana. Let's think of other words that you can connect with that. But reading is the initial stage when parents have to read stories to their children, bedtime stories before they go to sleep, read in the morning, read in the afternoon, and provide them with books for them to explore. They cannot read it, but they start exploring it because that's very good in their educative process.
So there's a lot to recap. Let's unpack. One is to teach your children respect, right? When they come to school, they must have respect for their teachers and their peers, right? And themselves. They should have etiquette. Let's remember that, it's not just teaching them please and thank you. It's also modeling, right? We can't say, oh, didn't I teach you to say thank you? And we're not. And we should be saying thank you and please and thank you and good morning. They repeat what you say and they model what you do. Children don't only hear from, they don't only learn from what you teach them verbally. They learn by seeing what you do and how you behave and modeling those behaviors. So let's jump right into the next question, right? Because modeling those behaviors are important. So what is the importance of communicating with your child's teacher? We see a lot of parents that come, they knew when I was growing up, if a teacher said, I'm calling home, you were scared. This time now where children, you say, I'm going to call your mom, and they tell the teacher, go ahead, call my mom. What is the importance of having that healthy relationship with your child's teacher?
Now, communication both ways is very important. Very important with the parent and the child. Very important with the teacher and the parent. The point in communicating is how do you communicate with them? What are the basic reasons why you want to communicate with them? Is it to tell them that your child is not doing well? Or is it to tell them that your child is working but improvement could have been seen here and there? Is it to be the don't tell your child, don't come to school late, don't do this? Or is to say, let's find some solutions to find out why the child is coming late. Mommy, I love your daughter, she's doing well. But this idea of, missing a few points in the lessons in the morning is not very good. So the communicating skills have to be very direct, but you have to use all your influence of understanding that parent before you start, because sometimes you start communicating with them and the first thing they say, I know you don't like my child. That's why you're always talking about her or him. You're beating up on him. So you have to organize a meeting that you can have parent one-on-one, and sometimes you have to have a third person in there and say, well, Bobby, always emphasize the positive. Always do that, because when the parent hears, oh, he's doing well, but he needs to come up here and there a little more, they are more open to accept your form of communicating with them. And communication is not only verbally, you can send them a note and have the parent telephone number and call them, talk with them, let them know what is going on. And at the same time, at the early age, because I'm looking at it broadly now, at the early age, you have to speak with the parent one-on-one. And sometimes when you're speaking with them, you have to have the child there. Sometimes you don't. It all depends on the circumstances that's going on. But communication is open, and it builds strength and character, and it helps the child to see him or herself in the light that people are anxious to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, Rev?
Yes, that's very important topic for parents to get to know the teacher of their child. It's very, very important. Number one, school inculcate that in the school curriculum at the beginning of the school year. It's very important. You are in the orientation. You get to know the school where your child is, get to know the classroom where your child is, get to know the teachers or that teaches your children. Here, where we are in America, you know that parents are called, not only the PTC, Parents Teachers Conference. Like in the school where I was, we call parents every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, a parent in that school, you are expecting a call from your child's teacher. What's the purpose of the call? The person is giving you a breakdown of the performances of your child, her areas of strength and areas you need to work harder on. So as a parent, you gotta visit your teacher's, your child's classroom once in a while. How is he doing? You don't have to wait for PTC. You can come in, you can call before they call you, because some schools have a laid down rule. It's on Tuesdays. So you know you're expecting that call. That call must come every Tuesday. And again, like Reverend has said, it's not only calling, it's not only telling them about the weaknesses of the child. The homework has not been done. Been absent for days. Because sometimes these kids get ready for school and they divert with their friends. They have left the home, they left home, but they never reach school. So that's one of the important facts about calling home. So some students, more especially within middle and high, they leave home, but they never reach school. So when you make that call, parents will know, oh, he left in the morning, so where is he or she? The parents will be aware when this child comes home, or call him, because we know our kids have phones now. Call him, where are you? Your teacher said you are not in class. Where are you? So you know what is wrong. Is your child missing? Did anything happen when he left home? Why is he not in class? So is the importance of getting to know your child's teacher is very, very vital, because without the teacher, you wouldn't know what's going on. And again, without you knowing your child's teacher, how will the teacher know if that child is allergic to some things? Because we here in America, we feed the kids, and we bring everything in, whether it's fruit or vegetable, whatever. So you gotta get in contact, more especially if your child is allergic to anything. You gotta let the school know through the teacher, my child is allergic to peanut or peanut butter. My child is allergic to fruit, is allergic to carrot. Let the teachers know on time before. We say prevention is better than cure. Let's prevent all those 911 calls before they happen. So my people, it is very important you let the teacher of your child get to know your child better. If it's a small child, he learns more with audio. He learns more with visual because you've been teaching him or her at home. Now you know all these things. The teachers work with those informations. If your daughter learns more with visual, the teacher is gonna use visual. If your your daughter learns more with audio, more of audio. If it is pictures, they are going to use all that. So the information you supply them with is gonna help them train your child the way you will love that child to grow in. So please, parents, let's get to know our teachers' children so that we give them more tools to help our children grow. Thank you.
Amen. That was great. So now that we established that communicating with the child's teacher, and the parent, right? And we're modeling the behavior of how to do that, right? So we have to remember in doing so, we're maintaining respect, we're using etiquette, right? And we're not shouting at the teacher, we're not trying to fight the teacher, we're trying to understand so that we can better help support our children at school. So one of the ways that I've learned that supporting children with their education is communicating with them, right? So what are some important, what is the importance of communicating with your child daily after school?
When a child is in school all the time, when a child is in school all the time and the child is going to be, whether it's an after school or you just want to stay, first thing you have to try to find out, why is the child in an after school? Why is the child not going home? And then you sit down with that child and try to find out. It could be the child is being bullied, so he doesn't want to leave school on time. It could be that the child needs some extra help, and so the teacher has to find out where is the child weak. It could be that the child is afraid of going home because of circumstances, because I have seen it while I taught that children would stay back and I said, why aren't you going home? I don't want to go home because mommy burnt me with the iron. Realistically true. Mommy burnt me with the iron, and if I go home, she's going to burn me again. Or daddy is beating up on mommy, and I don't want to go home because I cry all the time. Or mommy is cursing me out, beating me, knocking me in my head, and all those things. And I don't feel loved at home. So we have to find out, why is the child staying back? And then we have the problem. Now the solution has to come from us. What can we do to help the child? Are we going to just sit down, talk with the child, and send the child home? Are we going to have the principal intervene? Or the counselor intervene in that situation? Are we going to have the nurses involved in that situation? And so when you have others within the educative process of the child and they intervene and things are happening, then we find out that the child feels more comfortable, he feels more loved, he feels that you care, and if he wants to stay. And at the same time, maybe the child is hungry, he goes home, there's no food. Are we going to try to plan a way to help that child get some food through the administrative process? Or we are going to do it on our own, which wouldn't be the right thing to do. But sometimes you push yourself. If the child becomes sick, then you are at fault. So you have to go through that process to help the child, because this child is afraid of going home. You know the problem, let's fix it.
Thank you, Reverend. The importance of communicating with your child daily. These are the areas some of us do and some of us don't do. But a lot of parents are doing great in communicating with their children daily. Like you are bringing that child to school. I can hear some parents at the door, be nice. Be nice to your fellow students. Be nice to the teacher. That resonates with the child. My mom wants me to be nice at school. And then listen to your teacher. Listen. Make sure you do your work. You are encouraging that child. You are giving the child the tool of the day as that child is entering the classroom. Listen, today is Tuesday, they're going to call. I don't want to hear any bad news. Please behave. You see, you are working as a team with the teachers. Now, your child knows your expectation as a mother. This is what my mother or my dad expects from me as I'm entering into this classroom or as I'm going through the gate of the school. And then when you pick that child up, it's also important you ask that child, how was your day? Now, like Reverend talked about bullying, how will you know what's going on with the child if you don't speak with the child? How was your day? Did you do your work? Did you play with your friends? We know them. They don't hide anything. They will say, oh, my friend did me this at playtime. Or the teacher said this to me. That's the only way you will find out what is going on in the classroom where your child is. So today we are encouraging you as a parent to please communicate with your children daily. When they are coming in, is your part to help remind them your expectations. When they are coming home, you are also expecting the fulfillment of the teacher's part. So ask your child, what did you learn today? What happened in class today? That's the only way you will know what is going on with your child in the classroom in your absence. Thank you.
So these are all some great ways and strategies for you to take part in effectively being a parent and parent involvement in your child's education. So here are some positive effects of what happens when you are involved in your child's education. One, it improves homework completion. It increases time spent studying. It accelerates learning. It enhances positive mood. It improves the mood and attentiveness. It promotes positive effects in learning. All of these things of you being involved in your child's education, it promotes all of these things. So make sure you find time to be involved in your child's education. You all, I know as a teacher, I used to hear, oh, I'm at work, I work 2 jobs. The child comes here and then goes to babysitter on the weekend. You have to find at least some time to call the school and talk with the teacher. Stop in. I remember there were some years that children would come to my class and I would never see the parent. I would only see the family members. So I would call the parent and say, hey, I don't know you. You don't know me. When am I going to see you? And the parent will come and say, you know what? You made me feel like I had to come to meet you. So it's important to develop that relationship because you never know what benefits you might get from that relationship with the teacher to help you with raising your children. And, I have 2 more questions that I got from parents that reached out. And one of the questions that they asked are, what are some strategies parents can use to aid with redirecting their child's behavior? What are some strategies for parents? Some strategies parents can use to aid with redirection after hearing bad news from the teacher.
Okay, I'm going to give you a personal experience that I personal experience I had with my own son. My son Fabian was 9 years old. He was in grade 4, and they had to take the external exams each time. And one day he came home to me and said, "Mommy, my teacher doesn't like me. It doesn't matter what I do. He never gives me any good points." I turned to him and said, "Listen to me." I sat down and I thought about it. And I said, "Tell me one thing that you think the teacher should do to help you and give you good points." And he said, "At least when I do my work, he could tell me it's well done." But he never does it. He always tells the other students. And Fabian was very smart. And I said, "Listen to me, as a mother. I'm sending you to school to learn, to listen to the teacher, to obey the teacher, and to do everything that the teacher says, because he's not going to tell you anything wrong. And when you have accomplished all of that, do your homework and see what the teacher will say. But remember, I did not send you to school for the teacher to love you. I send you to school for the teacher to teach you and for you to listen." And she looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "Thank you, Mommy." And he didn't come back to me with any information about teacher didn't like him or anything. He's buckled down harder to his work, complete his homework on time. And then he was very, very happy. So I'm saying the strategy is, one, you talk with your child first and let them see the positiveness of listening, of doing the right thing, and at the same time, completion of their work, and always going to school tidy. And the teacher, it doesn't matter what you say, that teacher is going to come around and say, "Well, this child has done his part and he is going to do his part." And it continued like that until the end. And when he took the exam, he became second in the class. There was a child that came first, and he became first like his 97, and he was second like 96. And I said, "You see that? You have done your best." And the teacher in turn called me and said to me, "I am going to send your child to a special school." I said, "No, I have already selected a private school for him." And he said, "But he can succeed in anywhere." I said, "I wanted him to go to a private school because it's good for him." And up until today, my son looked at me and said, "Mommy, I'm so glad you had sent me to that private school. I feel so more at ease in the world and to relate to others." So it lasts. It lasts for a long time. Secondly, if you want the parent and the child and the teacher to be at ease with each other, you're not bribing the teacher. You're not bribing the teacher. But your child has been with that teacher all year. And it's time, Christmas time comes around. Can't you send him a little gift of a perfume? Or send him some soap? Or send him a towel? You know, this is not a bribe, but it's an appreciation to see my child succeeded under this teacher, and I want to say thank you. So a little praise goes a far way, and a little gift goes a double far way.
Amen. That was great. Amen. There are a lot of strategies that parents will use to redirect their children. Like the Reverend have said, it's great. Speak with your child. Know your child's educational needs. It's when you know the needs that you want the answer. In one of my preaching topic, he says, when you discover, you what? you recover.
Yes.
I remember the day I preached that message. If you don't discover, you won't recover. Let's start from your child is coming home with a D, with a C. What happens to A? What happens to B? Those that are having A and B, are they not somebody's children? They are. For me, as an example, how I re-strategize my children's performance in class, one of them was getting involved in their homework. Checking their homework to see they have done it correctly before they submit. And then number 2, checking their class books. Why did you have 4/10? I would say redo the ones you got wrong in the class. Then I will know, why did they fail it? Is it because they were under duress? Or because they were not listening? Or they were playing? Or because they don't know it? So I know what to do. Now, if they redo those ones they got wrong in their classwork, now they may have 3 out of the 6 they failed. Then I know they were distracted. So that when I will visit the classroom, I will tell the teacher, please, my son is getting distracted because all the ones he got wrong in the classroom, he did it at home and got them all correct. So change his seat. I don't want him around those that are making him not to focus in the classroom. So how did I know where he was distracted? Because those things he did in the classroom and got them wrong, he now did them in the house and got them correct. So something is not right somewhere. How did I know that? Because I got involved. Number 3, like I said, number 1 is what? Help them do their homework correctly. Number 2, find out why they are getting things wrong in the classroom. Is it because they don't listen to the teacher, or because who they are sitting with is distracting them? And then we talk about reward. All of us like reward. Why are we struggling to go to heaven? We are struggling to go to heaven because God gave us an open test. When you go to heaven, Revelation chapter 21, verse 4, there will be no more crying. There will be no more sickness. There will be no more this. There will be no more. Everything gonna be great in the kingdom. Oh, I want a place like that. I want to go to heaven. He also told us in Mark chapter 9 from verse 40 to 48, if you will not accept Christ, if you will go to hellfire, what happens? Where their fires does not quench and the worms does not die. So do I want to go to a place fire will be burning me with worms eating my body and I'm alive? No, I don't want that. So what do? I live a Christian life. Make sure my relationship with God is intact. So now, as parents, for us to redirect our children, we have to have a reward. I always have reward for my kids. Listen, I have a money reward. If you get, at the end of the school year, if you are the first, you get $10. If you come second, you get $5. I'm giving an example. But if you come third, you get $3. Anything fourth till 0, you don't get anything. No reward. Guess what? All of them want that $10. They don't want anything less. And that's why I thank God for my kids. They all graduated as valedictorians. Praise God. Because that reward motivated them to work harder because they want the money. Or if it is not money, what's going to happen on your birthday? What do you want on your birthday? That's an enticing reward. Oh, I would like to go to Disney World if you come first. I attach something to redirect their failure to success. So everybody is working hard because they want to go to Disney World. It did in the summer. So in redirecting, the strategies to redirect our children are many. Reward are many. In the classroom, we have rewards. If you get the question right, you look for the child, what motivates the child. Okay, you will stay more. 5 more minutes during break time. 5 more minutes. Or 5 more minutes in the lab. Or 5 more minutes with anything. Sometimes we give external rewards, which is, okay, in my class, I always have different design pencils, pens, and different things I know they like. So if you get it A, you have a gift. You know Miss Goodness will give you a gift. They always want to get that pencil, more especially the most fanciest one. Somebody want to have it. Sometimes I see when I'm going in the store, like when, was that Frozen? You know when Frozen came out? They want everything frozen. Pencil, frozen. Backpacks, frozen. Exercise books, frozen. When I go to the stores, I buy them. Brought them to class. Oh, I want that. I say, if you get the whole math correct, you will get this. Everybody's struggling. So that's how we are made of as humans. We want rewards. So have reward, not only as teachers, have it for your kids. If you will do well in this semester, if you will do well in this marking period, summer I'm going to take you to Disney World. Oh, I'm going to do a party for you at the park. Whatever it is, your hand can reach. Remember what your hand can reach. If you promise them and fail them, you miss it because you have messed it up. They're not going to believe you again because you have destroyed the trust. Because when you tell them now, I'm going to do it, they say, Mommy, the one you said before, you didn't do it. How do I know you will do this one? Children are very intelligent. So don't promise them something you know you are not going to do. Promise them something you can do. Through that, you will be able to redirect them. Make sure they're on point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we know with redirection, it's talking to your child, giving them rewards, connecting what you want them to do with the reward. So let's apply it, and maybe it can help in the long run with raising these children, right? Every child is different, so you have to keep that in mind as well. So find out what it is that drives your child. That's part of the communication, right? And knowing who your child is. Understanding what your child needs from you is very important. And we find that out with communicating, spending time, and modeling the behaviors. The last question that a parent had was, how to help my child retain school information.
If I should go backwards first to come forward, in the age that passed, and to help the child retain information, you have to provide the child with a book that they can write down information that they think they might miss at that time. If the child has a hearing problem, then you have to correct that by having the doctor intervene with the hearing problem, because that is something that prevents children from learning. In this age that we are now, you see what happens now. They have the telephone in the school, they have the iPod, they have all these technology in the school. They have the computers and everything. So parents can buy into that. Do not leave out the book, because sometimes these gadgets fail. So you have to have that book, that hard copy, so that they can use it. Give them the right pen, the right pencil, and they're going to use it. But in this age of technology, parents have so many resources that they can use and they can give to their children, that they can use within the classroom. And they can be recording. That's a good thing. They can be recording the teachers teaching right there, so they can remember. Or they can get into a club of each other and share notes with each other, so that they can retain as much as possible. And not only that, this age, the students can call the teachers and ask them, could you remind us of what you said, because I forget. I wasn't there, and I think I wasn't listening enough. They can be honest with themselves, and the teacher will explain, or go to the teacher after school and ask for an added few minutes to know what went on. But this technology, they have so many things. And there's one thing I want to say before I close that part, and it's that parents have to reach the place where they do not backtalk the teachers before their children. Because when they do that, they have closed that door for success to be with the child. If you want to be honest with them, but do not backtalk, because the children will go back to school with it. Mommy says so and so, I don't have to listen. So and so, and she has to teach because she's being paid. But the point is that this age that we are living in, there's no excuse. After school program you can go into, then you have all the other technology. However, at this time, I understand that they are trying to lessen the telephone into the classroom, because it can be a distracting agent also. And if they are not responsible and matured enough, it can destroy their learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. I think the number one thing we should do, in addition to what Reverend has said, is to find how our children learn best. Find how your children learn best. Because to retain information, something has to be done. Like we said, a repetition is the order of the day. There are some kids, you have to repeat it over and over before they will understand it. So you as a parent have to discover how your child learns best, so that when you discover that, let the teacher know also. Tell him over and over. Let him understand the instruction. Because when you understand the instruction, then you will know what to do. Because sometimes when you give these children work, they will be there doing like this, doing like that. You know that child don't know what to write. You will have to go back over. Which number are you? Do you understand the question? That's why some kids learn one-on-one more than in group. That's why I said, discover how your child learns best. If it's on one-on-one, I know a lot of us are having problem financially. But if you have a little money to spend, find him a tutor. Find your child a tutor. If your child is not good in reading, if your child is not good in math, that classroom group work is not going to help him. He needs a tutor. I remember when we traveled to Benin, we are Nigerians. We don't hear French. So it could have been a setback to my kids because they don't hear French. They don't know it. So what will I do? I have to hire them a French teacher that was coming home to our house 3 times a week to teach them. And that's how, even when they came to America, they didn't choose Spanish. My children chose French, and all of them had A because they already have that foundation of French language. So please find out how your child learn best. If your child need one-on-one teacher, find him or her a tutor that will be coming to your house, or you dropping that child to the teacher's place if you know he will be safe, because their safety is very important. If you know that child will be safe in a teacher's place, please send him to the teacher's house. But if you know or you doubt yourself about the child's safety, don't send that child to anybody's house. Let that person come to your place and teach your child. So for me, that's another way for the child to retain information. So find out how he learns best. If group is hard for him, he need one-on-one, find him a tutor. Or if you need extra time, put him or her in there after school to get more knowledge in those things you do not know. Thank you.
Oh, this is so great. I hope you are able to take notes and find ways to apply the theory, right? It's not only to take in the knowledge and hear it, but it's also to apply it, right? So again, let's recap. One of the things that we learn is setting the godly example, getting involved in their homework, teaching your children the foundation, which is the 10 Commandments, and how to pray. Praying with your child in the morning and in the afternoon. It may not be perfect, but giving them the example and modeling for them, right? Bringing God into their life and showing them what the foundation is, right, of respect, saying good morning, not just saying good morning, but saying good morning and directing it to the person by saying their name. Also, having the etiquette, right, of saying please and thank you, and when they're eating, right, showing them how to eat properly, how to sit at the table and not walk around while eating and smacking the food, and taking their time to chew and showing them different things. And now what I would like to also talk about is the next topic. So we will see you next month. October 12th is our next date. Save the date for October 12th. And the topic will be identifying New Age practices. For example, the evil eye that people are wearing on their bracelets, using the chara crystals, and all those other items. We will be identifying them next month, the second Saturday of October, which is October 12th. So we will see you then. Thank you again for joining us for Raising Godly Children, and we'll see you at our next session. Thank you for joining us.